Hello and welcome to Organic Edible Garden
and Kitchen.
We've got our broccolis and kales in, so today we're going to put our cabbage and our collies. I feel my body now needs its winter greens.
I'm going to take Rob's heritage taputini kumara and make a warming coconut and turmeric curry with them.
There's all sorts of goodness you get from root crops, and I'm sure Nellie will talk us through that.
What's so special about the taputini kumara?
They've been grown in this area for over 600 years, so for me they feel special.
Yeah.
I think the taste is a lot nicer as well. They're not as sweet as sweet potatoes, but they've got a certain nutty flavour to them. They're easier to grow and they store so well. This was our old cucumber melon bed, and they've robbed all the nutrients out the soil. So I've added some chicken manure and some compost to this bed to bring it back to life again. And because we're putting some brassicas back in this bed, we're also going to add a bit of lime to alkalise the soil. And then a bit of rock dust, just to make my plants super healthy. At this time of the year, the white butterflies are still a real problem. So we're going to put some neem in the hole, and you can use granules or in this case powder. By putting in the hole, the plants will absorb them systemically and will give it about 4 to 5 weeks of good protection against these guys. Neem's also a good soil conditioner, so it's a win-win situation. It doesn't matter if you plant these guys a little bit deeper than their stems. As they grow up, we actually like to hill them up anyway. It gives them protection from the strong winds. And now for the cabbages. I didn't bother putting any neem in the holes when I planted the kales and the broccolis, and now it's showing. I've got caterpillars now eating my leaves, and he's one of the little guys. I can still get around this by using a spray, and this is a totally organic spray with no withholding period. It's called BT, or you can buy it in retailers called Organic Caterpillar Control. It's based on a natural fungus that's already on the leaf and it amplifies it. The great thing about this one is it only affects the caterpillars and the butterflies and no other insects. The only other issues we may have with these guys are slugs and snails. And we've found the best ways for those are the yeast trap and the upturned terracotta pot stuffed with newspaper.
Kumara is my comfort food. I love having it baked in the oven, and one of my favourite ways, which I'm going to prepare here, is in a coconut-based curry. So for this curry, we're going to start with some nice fresh herbs and spices. We've got some fresh ginger and turmeric, as well as some shallots and some lemongrass, some kaffir lime leaves and some chilies. First of all, I'll chop up the shallots. Just peel the skins off them. You could also use some regular onions. Shallots are just a little bit sweeter, and I have an abundance of them, so I'm just going to use these ones up. I'm going to slice up these shallots nice and finely. Okay. Next I'm going to take the turmeric and also slice that up finely. But I'm going to do it in chunks that I can still remove easily. I don't want to eat this in the curry, I'm just using it to flavour the curry. And then the same with the ginger. This is really nice fresh ginger and really fresh turmeric, so I'm not needing to peel it. If you were using ginger or turmeric that wasn't fresh, you're going to peel it first. Then I have 2 chilies here. Now you may not want to use 2 chilies, it depends how hot your chilies are and it depends how much you like chili. So you could also start with just adding 1 and then adding more fresh chili at the end. Then I've got my kaffir lime leaves. I have a few of these from the garden. 1 or 2 is fine. They add a beautiful, nice flavour, and you can actually crush them a little bit first before putting in. You can smell the beautiful flavour there, and just giving them a little crush helps release the oils in there. I've got my lemongrass. I've just trimmed up the ends and cleared out the top of that, just because that was a woody one. If it wasn't a woody one, you could still use the tops. And then I've got my pestle here. I'm just going to give these a quick little bash. I'm going to take these over to the stove along with my coconut oil. I'm going to pop in a good tablespoon of coconut oil into the pot. The pot's at a sort of medium heat. I definitely don't want it too hot because you don't want to burn the shallots. So I'll cook the shallots for around 1 to 2 minutes, just until they start to soften, and then add in the other herbs and spices. So I'm going to add these all in here, give them a minute or so on the stove, just again to help release some of the flavours. These are looking ready, so I'm going to get my coconut milk. Now this is some coconut milk that I've made earlier, and we'll put the recipe for this up on the website. This is looking great, and I'm going to leave that cooking away on a medium heat for at least 5 minutes while I prepare the kumara. So these are the taputini kumara, beautiful, sweet, sort of light flavour. You could use other kumara for this dish as well. So I'll just top and tail them. And just dust off or give them a little wash if there's any sort of dirty parts. So they just need to be chopped to a similar size as each other. So I'm going to do mine about 2 centimeters thick. So it's important when you're cooking vegetables, if you want everything to be ready at the same time, that they are of a similar size. I'm going to throw these guys in and let them cook for around 10 minutes. Just checking every now and then to check they're not too cooked, and then assessing again in 10 minutes to see if they're ready. So the lid's going to go on now and leave it to cook. So the kumara and the coconut curry are cooking away. I want to add a few more vegetables to the curry in around 10 minutes when the kumara are almost done. So I'm going to add in some nice fresh courgettes and a little bit of cauliflower. Cauliflower is also great in curries. It adds body, and it also soaks up all those beautiful flavours in there. So I'm going to chop these up into quite small florets because I don't want to cook them too much. And then also some of this courgette. Again, I don't want to chop it too big. I'm only going to throw this into the curry for a few minutes before we serve it. So just really lightly cooked. These are looking great. I'll just check them. Oh, the fork goes in beautifully. I'm going to add the cauliflower and the courgettes and leave them to cook for just a few minutes, so they can lightly cook through. Okay. Whoa. Oh, that looks beautiful. Just going to taste it. I'm going to need to add a little bit of salt. Okay, so add a couple of pinches of salt here. Then give it a little stir. Yep, that's enough salt. I'm going to serve this up now. Now you could go through and pick out all the bits of lemongrass and kaffir lime and the turmeric, but I'm going to just scoop around it. Add some of the juices in there as well. So I've got this beautiful turmeric curry in the bowls here, and we're going to top with a few fresh things. I always like to serve anything cooked with some really nice fresh raw ingredients as well. I have some bean sprouts and I've chopped up some fresh chili, so just add that to taste, and some spring onion as well as some lime and basil that I have here. So just going to pop those on top. Just picking the leaves off the basil. Put a little wedge of lime in there. And finish up with some more of Rob's beautiful microgreens. This time we've got coriander, and it's lovely. We've got the little seeds on top here, I can see. Coriander microgreens, not just for looks, for flavour as well, but you could add just some ordinary fresh coriander in there. And then lastly, a few cashews. And we're done.
Hi Meg.
Hi.
Oh, that looks amazing. Have you made one for me?
I have made one for you.
Oh, cool.
You can eat it with me when you've told me why kumara is just so good for us.
Oh, yeah, I certainly will. Thanks. So kumara are the most amazingly nutritious vegetable. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and like these ones of Rob's, the heritage ones. But they also come in different colours. So there's the orange and the yellow variety, which are really high in vitamin C and carotenoids. And the purple variety, which is high in anthocyanins, which are the lovely purple colour. So they're very antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Even though they're so sweet and starchy, they're quite low on the GI index, the glycemic index, unlike potatoes. So they're very well tolerated for people like diabetics or people with blood sugar imbalances. And research has shown that actually the orange variety can really reduce the blood sugar levels in diabetics. So that's a real win-win. Another great thing about kumara, especially the orange ones, is they're incredibly good for our skin. The high vitamin A and the vitamin C content is fantastic for things like acne. And they also amazingly help us to make collagen in the body. And collagen is like the glue in our skin. It's what holds everything together. And it's our skin, our connective tissue, our bones, our tendons, ligaments. And unfortunately, when we age, we don't produce so much collagen. So eating lots of kumara will really help with that. So finally, to get the most out of your kumara, particularly the orange variety for the beta-carotene, when you're roasting them, just add a little bit of butter or good quality olive oil or good quality coconut oil to them, and that will bring out the nutrient value.